Shalom, Shalom and welcome. Welcome to White Rose Family Channel. If you're tuning in for the first time, my name is Symmanayah, and these are the words I'm compelled to present before an awakening set-apart nation. To those who are drawn by the Almighty Father, Yahuah, to Yahusha, as it is written in John 6:44. But before I get into these messages, I want to say this. The views expressed in these words do not necessarily reflect the owners, managers, shareholders, and or sponsors of this media platform. With that said, let's get started. The final Exodus, Countdown 2023. Could it be that we are approaching the days when we will be freed and return to the promised land? I'm compelled to believe by the month known as December, the 21st day of the year 2023, answers to this question will be fulfilled. I've put messages in different numeric formats, and within the final Exodus Countdown 2023, I started a sequence called Set Apart Yashar'al in Motion. Set Apart Yashar'al in Motion. This is the 14th connection to Set Apart Yashar'al in Motion. There are messages that I present that are bulletins that will be injected in the queue or in the line of messages to present. In this particular sequence of Yashar'al in Motion number 14, I want to address the issue of managing emotions. Emotions, O Yashar'al, joy, anger, sorrow, and more. You see, my brothers and sisters, end times are here. Uncertainty is ramping up. Civil unrest and lawlessness is ramping up. There's a lot of upheaval, wars and rumors of wars, famines and pestilence in various places, earthquakes in diverse places. And while there are many who are telling you what's going to happen, what will happen, what they believe will happen, not many are giving you instructions so that you know in the event of the demise of your leader, your pastor, your community head, your bishop, your deacon, in the event of their demise, because some of them will be taken home, put to death. Some of them you will be ordered to come away from. Some of them will admit they just don't know. But right now, there aren't many who are providing specific instructions on what to do in preparation and in lieu of this final Exodus. Yashar'al, O Yashar'al, death will ramp up greater than the pandemic, from earthquakes, volcanoes, tsunamis, and storms. Death will be magnified beyond what we've witnessed already. And Yashar'al, O Yashar'al, though it may not have hit our household, there are those who are weeping, those who are very angry, those who are very sorrowful at the loss of a loved one. But even in the quickness, there are processes and details. The quickness of death. In some cases, we will be ordered to press on and not weep too long, not mourn too long. Press on, not be enraged or in anger too long. Press on and not just be in a joyful state. There must be balance, O Yashar'al. We will learn how to manage the emotions that are ahead as we receive orders and living guidance from those chosen by the Almighty Father indirectly. We must be mindful of balance, O Yashar'al, lest our timing is off when it comes to movement in these final days. Come with me, O Yashar'al, regarding joy, for I'm not saying it's wrong to be joyful, but there will be times of joy, there will be times of anger, there will be times of sorrow. And you might say, oh, everybody know that, but do you know how to manage it? Do you weep and mourn too long for the loss of a loved one and cannot press forward? Are you overfilled with joy on things that make you happy and don't know how to focus and know when to press on? Are you weighted down by sorrow? The sorrow of those that will be left behind, the sorrow of those who cannot receive the truth and respond because of unbelief or misleading instructions from erroneous teachers. Come with me, O Yashar'al, to Proverbs 10:28. For it reads, the righteous look forward to joy, but the expectancy of the wrong ones perish. You see, my brothers and sisters, there are those who have the wrong expectations because of erroneous teachings and beliefs, because of inability to discern what the Spirit of Yahusha is saying. Proverbs 21:15 says, to do right ruling is joy to the righteous, but ruin to the workers of wickedness. You see, my brothers and sisters, when we recognize what is right, we can experience the joy given to us by the Almighty Father, that his instructions, his orders are being fulfilled. Come with me to Psalms chapter 30, verse 4 and 5. It reads, sing praise to Yahuah, you lovingly committed ones of his, and give thanks at the remembrance of his set apartness. For his displeasure is for a moment, his delight is for life. Weeping might last for the night, but joy comes in the morning. Yashar'al, Yashar'al, the morning is the rising of the light. The morning is the rising of set-apart instruction, the rising of righteousness. Knowing that it's rising and emerging will bring joy to our hearts, our minds, our bodies, to those who are committed to worshiping and obeying the Almighty Father. Now come with me to Proverbs chapter 12, verse 20. Proverbs chapter 12, verse 20 reads, deceit is in the heart of them that imagine evil, but to the counselors of peace is joy. My brothers and sisters, can we identify those who imagine evil, who imagine erroneous interpretation of scriptures? But to the counsels of peace is joy. There's a joy in peace. There's a peace in joy. We will witness it as 144,000 come together in unity. And there are some processes, there are some tasks, there are some sacrifices that must be made. There are some corrections that will come. Proverbs 21:15. Come with me there. It reads, it is joy to the just to do judgment. You see, when the Almighty Father judges us, he corrects us. In his discipline, we rise up stronger than ever, better than ever. And there should be a joy knowing that he's given us the attention to refine us. They say, but destruction shall be to the workers of iniquity. Among us, O Yashar'al, we must know how to focus and demonstrate set-apartness and experience the joy of Yahuah. Regarding anger, consider these words. A soft answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up displeasure. I noticed something in another translation regarding anger. In one translation, they use the word displeasure. In another translation, they use the word anger. King James Version said, a soft answer turn away wrath, but grievous words stir up anger. We must understand, my brothers and sisters, anger is not necessarily wrong, and I will get into that in a minute. We will anger at times, but we are ordered to sin not. Let me continue, O Yashar'al. Grievous words stir up anger. Basically, if someone is grieved, disappointed, it can lead to anger in more ways than we can imagine. More regarding anger. Ephesians 4:26 says, be wroth, but do not sin. Whereas in another translation it reads, be ye angry and sin not. Let not the sun go down upon your wrath, neither give place to the devil. It's in the King James Version. Notice again how two different translations handle the function of anger or displeasure. Anger occurs, O Yashar'al. And in these final days, we will be angry in many occasions. But let us learn to discern how not to let our anger cause us to sin. For so many times we may enter into dialogue and excuses. Well, the reason why I'm angry is because of this. I submit to you, O Yashar'al, for whatever reason we anger, let us discern what and how we are to manage that anger, how we are to manage that emotion, and press on. There's a lot of work ahead of us, more than what's behind us, O Yashar'al. Let me read Matthew 21:12 and 13. For it reads, and Yahushua went into the set-apart place of the Almighty One and drove out all those buying and selling in the set-apart place, and overturned the tables of the money changers and the seats of those who sold doves. And he said to them, it has been written, my house shall be called a house of prayer, but you have made it a den of robbers. Yashar'al, or Yashar'al, you see, there is an anger that is correct. We will exhibit and demonstrate anger when appropriate, but let us not be overtaken with anger. Let us not be caused to sin because our anger is displaced incorrectly. Regarding sorrow, my brothers and sisters, we will weep, we will cry at the death, at sickness, as a result of leaving someone that we've been around for many years, ordered to leave them, or watching them leave us. We will experience sorrow when we present the truth and people cannot discern it or receive it. Those that we love, those that we care about, those that we desire to receive what is true. There will be sorrow. But let us not be overtaken with sorrow. We cannot force someone to listen. We cannot force someone to abide by what is set apart. Let me read some more regarding sorrow. Isaiah 14:3-7. Isaiah chapter 14, verse 3-7 reads, and it shall be in the day of Yahuah, give you rest from your sorrow, and from your trouble in the hard service in which you were made to serve, that you shall take up this proverb against the sovereign of Babel, and say, how the oppressor has ceased, the gold-gatherer ceased. Yahuah has broken the staff of the wrong, the scepter of the ruler. He who struck the people in wrath with ceaseless blows, he who ruled the nations in displeasure, is persecuted and no one restrains. All the earth is at rest, and at peace they shall break forth into singing. You see, we will receive rest from our sorrow. Expect it. Look forward to it, O Yashar'al. There will be times when we will witness the hand of the Almighty Father. We will witness the instructions, living instructions from the Spirit of Yahusha, guiding us into rest from sorrow in these final days. Jeremiah 31:13-14 reads, then shall a maiden rejoice in a dance, and young men and old together. And I shall turn their mourning to joy, and shall comfort them, and shall make them rejoice from their sorrow, and shall fill the being of the priests with fatness. And my people shall be satisfied with my goodness, declares Yahuah. There's the literal time that this was applicable in days of old, and there's the literal time currently and to come. Though we sorrow for the day, joy come in the morning, O your Yashar'al. My brothers and sisters, you might say, what does this have to do with anything? Or I know that, or this is simple. But I say to you, my brothers and sisters, the time will come when these words will mean something to you. They will bring comfort. They will bring the fuel necessary to press on and not be overwhelmed by anger, by sorrow, by sadness. Prepare to witness and know how to respond to the various mixed emotions that are about to rise up as times become more and more intense. Yashar'al, Yashar'al, do not be bullied or weighted down by others because of how you respond to someone's death. There are those that might say, you don't feel sorry or sadness because this person or that person have died or because they were destroyed. There are those that's going to say, shouldn't you do more than just be angry? There are people that's going to dictate how you should respond emotionally, but do not be bullied by that. Don't be weighted down with others are saying how you're supposed to respond. You see, O Yashar'al, if we respond because of the way the masses are influencers, we're liable to make a mistake. I want you to come with me to two sections of scripture. One is Exodus 17, 5 and 6. It says here, and Yahuwah said to Moshe, pass over before the people and take with you some of the elders of Yashar'al, and take in your hand your rod which you struck the river, and go. See, I am standing before you there on the rock of Hor, and you shall strike the rock, and water shall come out of it, and the people shall drink. And Moshe did so before the eyes of the elders of Yashar'al. He was obedient, and the water came. But you will read in another instance, some will say this is the same instance. No, in another instance, in the 20th chapter of Numbers, verse 7 through 13. Take heed to these words. And Yahusha spoke to Moshe, saying, take the rod and assemble the congregation, you and your brother Aaron, and you shall speak to the rock before their eyes, and it shall give water. And you shall bring water for them out of the rock, and give drink to the congregation and their livestock. And Moshe took the rod from before Yahuwah, as he commanded him, but Moshe struck the rock. If you go on, it said, Moshe and Aaron assembled the assembly before the rock, and he said to him, here now, you rebels, shall we bring water for you out of this rock? Then Moshe lifted up his hand and struck the rock twice with his rod, and much water came out, and the congregation and their livestock drank. He struck the rock twice. He was upset. He was angry at the congregation. But Yahuwah spoke to Moshe and to Aaron and said, because you did not believe me to set me apart in the eyes of the children of Yashar'al, therefore you do not bring this assembly into the land which I have given them. These were the waters of Meribah, because of the children of Yashar'al contended with Yahuwah, and he was set apart among them. Two separate situations. One case, he was ordered to strike the rock. Just strike it. In another instance, he was ordered to speak to the rock before the children of Yashar'al. And Moshe was disobedient. And because of disobedience, he did not get to go to the promised land. He died while they were in the wilderness. My brothers and sisters, obedience is more important. Obedience to the living Spirit of Yahuwah. It does not mean to do as others do, express the same remorse, joy, anger, or sorrow, manage it the same way others. Because everybody's crying doesn't mean you cry too. Sometimes we will, but sometimes we will not. It's not wrong to be sorrowful. It's not wrong to be angry. What I'm saying, O Yashar'al, in this post, managing emotions, is going to be important. If you are in a group at a funeral too long, or just going to the funeral, you may miss the ground opening up so Yashar'al can pass through dry springs and rivers. And the ground might seal back up and you may not be able to travel. You may not be able to go. You may not be able to gather where you could have gathered if you're busy burying someone, busy at a funeral, busy fighting and arguing. We must learn how to balance these emotions, O Yashar'al, and in the coming days, they will be fierce, more fierce than we can imagine. Let's have these discussions on how to manage our emotions, O Yashar'al. Let me continue. It is important to walk in the light, the light of Yahusha, in obedience. You see, if we walk in the light, if we walk in correctness, we will know how long do we entertain anger, sorrow, or even joy, if at all. Walking in the light of obedience. Be mindful, Yashar'al. Let me read why I say it's important to walk in the light. 1 John 1, 6 through 10 says, if we say that we have fellowship with him and walk in darkness, we lie and are not doing the truth. But if we walk in the light, as he is in the light, we have fellowship with one another. And the blood of Yahushua Messiah, his son, cleanses us from all sin. If we say that we have no sin, we are misleading ourselves and the truth is not in us. If we confess our sins, he is trustworthy and righteous to forgive us the sins and cleanse us from all unrighteousness. If we say that we have not sinned, we make him a liar, and his word is not in us. Yashar'al, managing emotions, knowing when to say forgive me, nor when to say we're sorry. Knowing how to manage these emotions is going to prove to be of grave importance. You see, the 144,000 in great multitude will come together in all the details and processes that is necessary to humble us in our gathering together, to be strong in the spirit of set-apartness. Everything that is necessary will come. Let us ask questions and understand specific emotions. Why are you angry? Why are you so sorrowful? What makes you so joyful? Yashar'al, in doing so, we will learn and understand and can identify if we are misstepping or walking in correctness. Yashar'al, do not be quick to judge emotions. Know that each emotion has its purpose. One might be angry for legitimate reasons to bring about correction. One might be joyful for reasons you do not know, or sorrowful. Let us not be quick to judge the emotion of another, but let us ask questions and examine the reasons behind what's influencing the emotion and what is it doing for our actions as it relates to us coming closer together with one another. Yashar'al, there's a difference between obedience and being insensitive. I had a conversation with a sister some years ago about catastrophic situations occurring in Texas. And the sister said, you don't have any feelings for those that's losing their homes, those who died in this massive storm? And I said to her, yes, I have feelings, and my heart goes out to their loved ones. But I must press on with the work that I am called to do. And she thought I was being insensitive, not caring. You see, O Yashar'al, for many years I've said the final exodus, the exit point will be for the Western Hemisphere, the state of Virginia, the Commonwealth of Virginia. For many years I have spoken that and will continue to speak until such departure time. And there are many who have heard me in different parts of the Western Hemisphere. And how many have made plans or even asked how can they relocate to get out of the footprint of what is happening? You see, to receive warnings and instructions and not begin to move out of places that will bring destruction and experience destruction is throwing your hand up to disregard the Watchman of Yahuah, disregard the warnings from the servants of Yahuah. to disregard comes with pain and regret. And even to this day, there are those still sitting around on the West Coast, west of the Mississippi, not making any moves to head towards Virginia. In the Midwest, not making any moves towards that. And some believe that, oh, Yah's going to take care of me. Not even asking, does he want them to stay in place or move? And if so, when and how and with whom? Yashar'al or Yashar'al, obedience will prove to be stronger than our emotions, and such that it will prove that we're not being insensitive. We're obeying what we are led to say, speak, in, or do. Come with me to Luke chapter 9, 57 through 60. Luke chapter 9, verse 57 through 60 said, and it came to be as they journeyed on the way that someone said to him, Master, I shall follow you wherever you go. And Yahushua said to him, the foxes have holes, and the birds of the heaven nest, but the son of Adam has nowhere to lay his head. And he said to another, follow me. But he said, Master, let me first go and bury my father. And Yahushua said to him, let the dead bury their own dead. But you go and announce the reign of the Almighty One. His father. What do you think the masses thought? He's insensitive. He won't even come to bury his father. Here he had a choice. Go bury his father or obey the instructions from the Almighty Father word that was manifest before him as Yahushua. To obey Yahushua or bury the dead. That seems insensitive. It seems wrong. But massive deaths are coming. More deaths than we can attend funerals. More deaths than we can go and have time to sit and rest and mourn. Yashar'al, I take no pleasure in speaking these words, but these are the words of reality. And we must begin to focus on discerning the voice of the Spirit of Yahusha and move, lest we find ourselves in a condition that we are not among the ranks of those for the final exodus, or not in the place we should be. Yashar'al, O Yashar'al, from joy to anger to sorrow and more. My brothers and sisters, we must embrace the realities of what we're facing. As we get closer to December 21st, 2023, things are going to get really chaotic. Do not concern yourself with those outside of pursuit of set-apartness. Do not worry or battle against those who show no desire to serve and do the will of the Almighty Father. Let us focus. Let us manage our emotions. Let us grow hand in hand. Let us embrace one another and encourage one another to take another step forward, closer and closer to the Almighty Father, lifting up Yahushua HaMashiach by our obedience. For it is in that actions of obedience, that we lift up Yahushua. And he states in John 12:32, if he be lifted up, he'll draw all men to himself. Yashar'al, O Yashar'al, make no mistake, there will be a final exodus. Yahushua drawing us to him. To the promised land we will journey, many, but not all. But the promises of the Almighty Father will come to be. Prepared to witness the realities of what is expected, the details, the processes, O Yashar'al. My brothers and sisters, it is important that we recognize the need to manage these emotions. It is important that we share and discuss these matters with one another. Set apart family, the days are coming when obedience will be more important. My brothers and sisters, than being overtaken by emotions. I'm not a cold-hearted person. I'm not an insensitive person. But we will find that time is precious. Details and processes are important for the fulfillment of the final Exodus and so much more. Yashar'al, help me. Help me bring your abilities, your resources, your supplies. Let us prepare for a massive gathering of set-apart children, drawn by the Almighty Father Yahuah, together to journey back to the Promised Land. And for those who are outside of the Western Hemisphere, you will begin to find yourselves being refined to lead in or to identify leaders that will guide you from the prospective countries that you're in back to the Promised Land. Make no mistake, Yahudah carries the scepter. Yahudah carries the lead. And many of Yahudah are in the Western Hemisphere. As with those who are Gentiles, who are grafted together with us by Yahushua Mashiach, by the blood of the Lamb, together grafted as one under the banner of Yashar'al. Make no mistake, in the 7th chapter of Revelation, it identifies that 12 tribes, 12,000 from each of the 12 tribes of Yashar'al will emerge. This will come to be. I've even put a sequence of messages regarding the 144,000, the 12,000 of each of the 12 tribes. But once that is fulfilled, all of the set-apart children of Yashar'al will be under the banner of Yashar'al. The 12 tribes will be identified, and then we will all be under one banner. Pray and watch. Help me, O Yashar'al. What say you? What skills, what abilities? Make them known. And if at the very least, if you don't know what else to do, contribute financially and watch what happens. Watch what the fruit of your financial contribution can bring. It doesn't buy you a seat in this Exodus. It doesn't buy you a seat at the table, but it fuels processes and details that leads to those who are drawn by Yahuah to the table. And you may be one of those, and you may not. The day will come when you will be asked, what did you do? What have you contributed? What will you contribute? Pray and watch, O Yashar'al. As times become more and more intense, there are those who may have contributed things that assist with them making it to where they're supposed to be. Though you may not know what the future holds in details, know this, Yashar'al will come together in unity. On that note, I salute your patience, your tolerance. I pray that you're able to understand why I repeat a lot of things, or there's some redundancy in these messages. Just like any warning, they make a sound over and over and over to no longer necessary. The day is coming when it will make sense, where you will get it. I will get it even more. Yashar'al, Yashar'al, my prayer for you is that you seek to discern and are able to discern the voice of the Spirit of Yahusha working in us, through us, one towards another, through its leaders, through you. You might be in that position where you are refined to be a leader or a better leader. Make no mistake, O Yashar'al, end times are here, and we do not have as much time as we had behind us, ahead of us. On that note, I pray that you're in good health, or that you have the fortitude, the strength, that no matter what condition you're in, you have the power and might to rejoice in that Abba Yahuah is the Almighty One, that he sent his word before us, that he sent his spirit before us in the name of Yahusha. In the name of Yahusha, I come to you, my brother, my sister, my family. My name is Symmanayah, and I end with saying, Shalum.